Hi again, everyone. I'm Ollie Matthews. This is Refuge from Narcissism. No contribution with this video. For the first time in a long time, I'm not sure what to do. Not in regards to the channel, where the channel's fine. The channel will always be here. So, as I talked about in my last video, I found out, now that Aaron is turning 18 now in 4 days and graduating high school, I think next month. I found out that the house in New Jersey, which my name is still attached to, I'm still the primary signer on, is no longer underwater. It's far above water at this point. About 200, maybe even 300,000 above water at this point. So even though my ex-wife hasn't paid the mortgage for the better part of 10 years, okay, even though I paid every cent of child support based on her paying a mortgage of $3,100, which was what on all of that. Okay, based on the house basically being in foreclosure for the better part of 10 years and nothing being done with it about it, and it being underwater for most of that time. Even though all of that, now that my daughter's turning 18 and legally I could force them to leave the house if certain things, or because is vague. The divorce agreement is vague there about how long, or it does say till the age of 18. But even though all that, we could still sell this house, be done with each other completely, okay, and go our separate ways with actually making some money on this whole disaster of a marriage and a transaction and buying that house and listening to my parents and so on and so forth. Mind you, I haven't spoken a word. I haven't talked to my ex-wife on the phone. I haven't uttered a word to her since the day after the Andrea Grande shooting over in the UK. That was the last time. So was that 5 years ago? 4 years ago? And in that time, since that time, I've only spoken to Aaron twice, and that was earlier in 2020, July. I thought she wanted to repair the relationship, but it would have turned out to be she just wanted to shove a car in my face that my father was purchasing for her. So I called up there, and that's all I can do is leave messages saying, the entire time about the house, if I get another one, yada yada. So fast forward, it turns out my ex-mother-in-law, her mother, had just died on, I don't know the exact date because there's not even an obituary for it, but I'm assuming it is pretty recently. It's pretty recent. So, knowing my ex-wife the way I do, knowing that she's going to use that now as me harassing her as her mother died, so I'm like, I'm not the one who hasn't not picked up the phone in nearly 5 years. So whether or not her mother died, it has no bearing on, I have no way of knowing this. Erin's graduating high school. Okay, she's turning 18. I have no idea. My name's attached to the house, and they think they could just ignore every single phone call. So I have reason to call up there. It's not harassment. I have a right to know what is going on with my house, okay? And it is still my house. And our daughter, which I have now paid for and fully funded, and they want me to continue to fund over the next year, even though Florida says I don't have to. New Jersey, it's to 19. But that's not even like where, so like the mind blower for me, because parents die. They die. That's part of life. Death is part of life, especially your parents dying is part of life. However, because I haven't had any contact with them and I know nothing that's going on there, what I did find out is not only did her mother die this year, but her brother died in November of 2019. Her younger brother died at, I think, 48, 49 years old, basically my age. So now she can go with the store. And understand something. I liked her brother. I had my problems with her brother. Her brother was a big giant baby Huey living in died in his mother's house in South Carolina. Died having his mother doing his laundry till the day he died. See, the issue there was other than he ate Aaron's food, and yeah, it sounded, but that story was part of a bigger picture of the family dynamic. I liked John. I did. I liked him, and we got along very well. And he liked me, I liked him. We got along very well. And it was very good with Aaron, and very good to Aaron. And Aaron loved him very much. I know that one must have really gotten her, because she loved him very much. I mean, John's a year older than me, a year younger than her. They're basically Irish twins. Granted, I think he was probably close to 400 pounds when he died, and this is November 2019. So I don't know how he might have died, but it looked like he died pretty quickly and suddenly. Like, wouldn't you think at some point, right, if you're my ex-wife, your father dies at 63. Your mother died, I think, at like maybe 68. I think she was like 68 when she died. Your brother died at 48. She's the only one left. So I'm sure she's got a lot of affairs to settle up with her mother's estate and her family's. I won't even call it an estate because I don't think they had that much money. But the house is worth what it's worth in South Carolina. And then, not to sound heartless or cold, she's not even got to split that with her brother. But what about Erin? What if something happens to her? Forget me. Forget not even like, hey, John's a year older than me, than Erin's father. What happens to him before? Like, was that it? I think that's it. And look, I've said some pretty horrible things, none of which I take back. Okay, and I've exposed some pretty horrible truths. Maybe they want me dead. Maybe that would solve a lot of their problems, but And the irony is with that, and I've talked about this before with my ex-wife and her family. They have been abandoning her entire fucking life. This is why she glommed on to me, and now she gloms on to that fucking leech of a fucking thing that calls himself my father, whatever you want to fucking call that scumbag son of a bitch. Because here's the thing. It is 2021. It is 2021, and that fucking scumbag has been faking a disability now since September of 1991, for going on 30 years. He has been faking a disability, that he can't work, that he's so sick, that he could die at any fucking time. Meanwhile, he has outlived his wife, his sister-in-law, his 3 younger sisters. My ex-wife's brother, my ex-mother-in-law, my ex-father-in-law. People just dying around this fucking grifter motherfucker. And nobody calls him out. No one calls him out. It's unbelievable. It's unfucking real to me what that fucking guy gets away with. Because here's the thing. If he were to be the next one to go, my ex-wife, my phone would be ringing off the hook from my ex-wife, because she would have nowhere else to turn to and nowhere else to go, regardless of how much money she's going to end up getting from what her mother's house sale, okay, whatever she'll end up getting between the houses and my brother, okay, because I'm sure they're splitting it. My brother's not going to run your life for you, Carrie. She's not. He's too selfish. But that's not happening, because they all live in my father's family. All the men live into their fucking 90s, into their late 90s. All of them. All of them. My great-grandfather, my father, my great-grandfather, my grandfather, my great-uncle, my uncles, all of them. The men don't die young. The guy sits there eating fucking hot dogs every day for the last 70 fucking 4 years now. Okay, fine. I'm gonna die. He don't gain a fucking pound. He don't gain a fucking pound. Meanwhile, fakes a fucking disability for 30 years. Everybody kissing his fucking ass. He's outlived all of his sisters. Lita, multiple bouts of brain tumors. Adrian, multiple cancers. Tina, multiple cancers. He had time to steal a house from an old lady, though. He had time to do that. And expand his empire down on the fucking Jersey Shore. All that he had fucking time for. So, I'm at a point now. I know where I know where Erin's going to school. I know she's going to college. I know where she's going to school. Okay, it's in Jersey. What I don't know is whether she's going to be living at home or staying there. Could be either or. Depends. It's a bit of a distance. Not a huge distance, but enough of a distance. I wouldn't want her driving that every day. So what do you do? Now, do you go in there? Do you be the fucking bad guy here? Okay, he's gonna kick me out of my childhood home, ba da 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 da. After my nonna died, after my nana died, after my Uncle John died. Like, and this is not Aaron. This is my ex-wife gonna be do this whole fucking pity party. Meanwhile, they're just fucking raking in. I'm sure they're just raking in. They got my, and again and again and again, the money I paid. 5-digit number. Okay, and I'll say this, the first digit wasn't a 1. And it wasn't a 2 either. And I'm just going to leave it there. So she don't necessarily need. She could sit in that house in New Jersey if they let her. Who knows? Who knows what they're going to do? The thing is, I'd work with them. I'd work with her. You need to stay in the house while she goes to college, like whatever. Whatever. Just tell me what's going on. I don't even necessarily need to talk to Aaron. I'm not asking. I'm seeing. Here's the thing. I'm not even asking to talk to Aaron. Just tell me what you're doing. No. No. You know, I got a trove of information on these people, you know. And when things go down and things happen, like, you don't realize everything that's going down. Because like I said, like, until you break contact and you step away and then you can reassess and reevaluate things for what they are, like, you can't. This is why, like, dealing with these disorders is not an in the moment solution. It takes letting it play out, taking back, analyzing it, thinking about it, letting some time pass, rethinking about it again. It sucks, but that's what we have to do. When I make reference to people in my family making fun of me and calling me a loser and telling me like I'm living some fucking kind of pipe dream. Let me tell you where exactly that comes from. That comes from that last phone call I had with Precious, my brother, back in 2015. And I know you're watching this, and I know you're going to see this, Michael. Where he tried to step in. This is where, at the time, where I caught them forging my name on the loan modification with the bank. Okay, and my brother tried to play dumb, and then he tried to do the whole end around gaslighting that, you know, I'm your younger brother, and I should have stepped in and told you you're fucking delusional when you were talking about starting a business with me and Charlene, you know, with, you know, glass and maybe doing artwork on pipes and glass and stuff like that. He's like, you're out of your fucking mind, and I'm just listening to you as you're like, and I'm like, hey fuckhead, nobody would hire me. I couldn't get an interview. And he just made this point on the phone to me. He's like, who's going to hire you, being, you know, with your child support situation? He's like, I just had a guy come in and, fully qualified, overqualified for the job, great references and all. He was behind on his child support, so I didn't hire him. I'm like, well, what fucking problem? What do you think I'm going through here, asshole? I'm like, and you didn't hire him. He's like, yeah. I'm like, well, fuck you, asshole. You're part of the fucking problem, you little shitbag. The guy's desperate to work. How is he supposed to pay off his fucking child support when shitbags like you won't hire him, fuckhead? And I'm like, I'm trying something. I'm moving forward. And this is at the point where I already have the channel. Understand? It's like, and this is where he's calling in everybody on the channel a bunch of losers and crazy women and all that. I'm like, how do you think I got to here, Michael, where people are now giving me money for my videos? It started with just thinking outside the box. What do I fucking do? What do I do so I'm not sitting here depressed, unemployed, not fucking contributing anything to fucking society? Oh, that's what you do. And what I found out, and this is what really, really, really why I can never, ever, all the people in my family, I can never be in his presence again, because if he's within arm's reach, it's on like fucking Donkey Kong, because it's what I should have happened 30 years ago with him. Should have happened 30 years ago. So what I discovered is now he's basically running, and I knew this, I may have mentioned it. He's running a food truck. He owns his own food truck where he makes sliders out in Denver. I'm not bashing him anything. He's always loved to cook. Starts his own business, okay, in 2015, the same as he's making fun of me for trying to start my own business. This little fuck is starting his own fucking burger business, so it's just a gaslight teardown. Because he saw it then. Like, I got to go run around in a food truck on weekends, coming home stinking, getting grease burns, burning myself on the fryer, smelling like God knows what. Dealing with customers, dealing with drunks, dealing with fucking stoned out fucking potheads all over Denver. Hey, better to work for yourself. But you still got to really fucking hustle and work your ass off. And what he saw was me and a fucking laptop at the time, starting to dig my fucking self out. And he wasn't going to have it. That's why. I can never be in his presence again. That's why. And you don't see it all because you don't have all the information at the time. This is why you can't just make fucking snap judgments about these people. Because you'll find out things months, weeks, days, months, years, sometimes decades later. That just put it all into fucking perspective. Still working on this last kidney stone, by the way. So I really don't know what to do. Excuse me. I really don't know what to do up there right now. It's all a double-edged sword. And the more I talk it out, and the more I think about it. Look. My mother's dead. They got access to all my father's money. My wife's 100 grand a year plus benefits. Okay. All the money I've sent up there. Okay. Holy shit. And continue to send up there, by the way. What do I care what anybody thinks about me? Like, what? Yeah, fuck it. Fuck it. Like, who do I care? Like, it's a dystopian hellhole anyway. And if property values are going up in the suburbs of Jersey right now because Manhattan's turned into Escape from New York, then hey, so be it. Try to capitalize on it before it all spills over. And yeah, you know what? It's almost like you got to take this opportunity. What's Aaron going to do? Not call me? What are you going to do? Not talk to me? How many people have you outlived? Dying. He's dying any day now. Outlived. Everybody will probably outlive. And I'm not saying like I'm sick or dying, but listen, I know I'm not in good health. And it is a reminder that my ex-brother-in-law is dead at 48, 49 years old. Granted, he was closer to 400 pounds, but he was a bit taller than me. And I don't want my ex-wife, because I don't want that for Erin. I don't want her to have to go through losing her mother at 18. I've been a mess lately, so it's been a hell of a ride the last 2 months. I'll say that, and it's been mostly good. And again, like, prices are skyrocketing down here. Skyrocket. You got in the office, you got people from up north, Massachusetts, New York, New Jersey, Vermont, New Hampshire, Michigan, Wisconsin, calling these complexes. Like, is there anything? There's waiting lists now. There's waiting lists to get this shitty little apartment that I moved in to. Okay, across the street, but basically the same unit, if you remember my older videos. Okay, when we moved in here at the end of 2012, after losing the other place, after losing my job and all that, I think it was $780 when we moved in. $780. I mean, we're just paying over $1,000 now, after almost 10 years. Same unit now, $1,450. There's not even an in-unit washer dryer in here. Like, it's very basic. I mean, I like it. It suits our purposes. But that's what's happening to Florida. That's the other thing that burns all their asses, is I was right about all of it. I was right about the Northeast. I was right about it politically. I was right about all of it. Oh, and again, and just to throw in some politics at the end, okay, to tell you again, to show you once again that these fucking areas cannot be saved. Look what happened in the Philadelphia DA race. That Larry Krasner, the Soros guy, who has run Philadelphia into the ground the last 4 years, easily. It's done. Get out of those areas. They're finished, people. Finished. Woosah. So, yeah, I think I just gotta go. Do I want to disturb? But that's the other thing. What's the effect on Erin? Like, financially, yeah, they can handle it. But I'm not going to be a piece of shit and be the one to be blamed for ruining Erin's schooling or whatever. She don't need the stress because they're just going to put it on her. So again, I hope one day she realizes how much they fucking use her. Saw some more pictures of her. She is absolutely beautiful. She is unbelievably beautiful. And when you see the picture, you know that's your kid. Like, that's, can't get that time back. That's for goddamn sure. So hopefully I get this kidney stone out. I can constantly get the other stuff settled, and we'll get this whole show on the road again. So I am still doing Skypes again. They're much easier to get through than reading and all that. So again, Skypes and phone calls are still available. If you want to set them up, you know what to do. If you want to get in on the queue, again, I'm going to be able to knock out all these videos in a day. So once I get to them, once we get going, all those videos are getting knocked out in a day. There's only 11 of them. So it's not too many. So if you want to get in on the queue, if you want to support the channel, support for someone else, whatever, you know, everything's still real good. You know, everything's appreciated. It is. Because again, they're still on their deplatforming kick, which is another reason, again, trying to keep my head down. Okay, because if I say the wrong thing, it ain't nothing for them to get rid of me. That's for goddamn sure. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. And I'll see you all real soon. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been Refuge from Narcissism. Take care.